Good morning. I feel like I'm back in Boston. Gaia and I had that conversation while it was playing. I invite you all to take a deep breath. Spirit of love and life, come and rest upon us. Rest within us for these few moments of calm. Quiet our striving and allow us time for breath, for silence, a time to let go of all that we carry into this place. May we all simply be here without worry or wish. In the quiet of our hearts, pour in peace, not only the absence of striving, not only the absence of conflict, but the fullness of peace that be. Peace embodied in how we treat each other, into the world in compassion and care, shown in the world by acts of justice and mercy. Peace known by the safety of children and those who are vulnerable. Peace created by each of the earth's children within and beyond, building a web that links each to all to the boundaries of all that is. Into our hearts, pour this presence of peace, we pray. Spirit of love and life, you who animate our lives, the world in its troubles and chaos cries out for the blessing of peace. And today in particular, we grieve the start of another senseless war, another senseless abuse of power, as our country continues its long tradition of violence. In this new year, we are confronted by old patterns, old systems, old ways of being that spark within us pain, grief, anger, and fear. May we be those who draw together in the midst of it all the threads of peace, found in the beauty of the earth that surrounds us, found in common and simple acts of justice, mercy, kindness, and compassion that fill the world. May we draw together the threads of peace and weave them here this morning. And it's at this moment I invite Gaia up to light our chalice. For it is in this community. May we weave peace for our weary, beloved world. In the quiet of these moments, may we open our hearts to the presence of peace, the light of community, the power of love. May it be so. Amen.
Happy New Year, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Northern Nevada, where it is our mission to grow in love, faith, justice, and joy. My name is Gaia Brown. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm honored to be your worship associate today. A special welcome to newcomers. We're glad you decided to start your new year by joining us today, and we will do our best to greet you within the next few minutes. Whomever you love, whatever your circumstances or beliefs, you are welcome in this community. If you did not have the opportunity to give us your contact information at the welcome table, which is out there, please fill out the form which is in the seat pocket in front of you with your contact information so we can send you a weekly email to help you keep in touch with everything that is happening here. Also, in those seat pockets are forms for anyone with a joy or concern to be shared with our congregation today. Fill it out and give it to Nathan or me during our time of greeting. Folks on Zoom, many of whom have been members for years and years, we're happy to have you virtually in our presence. We acknowledge we are uninvited guests meeting on the traditional homelands of the Washoe, Northern Paiute, Western Shoshone, and Southern Paiute people of the Great Basin. This includes the 28 tribal nations that exist as sovereign nations and continue as stewards of this land. We appreciate the opportunity to live and worship on these indigenous homelands. And now it's time to greet each other in whatever way is comfortable for you, and I'll call you back with a singing bowl in a few minutes. Would you please rise as you are willing or able and stand to sing the opening hymn, which is We Are a Gentle, Angry People. It's number 170, and singing the living tradition, the Gray Hymnal.
Back in November, Sam and I met to talk about the music we wanted for our opening service for January 4th, 2026. And our theme for the month of January is this reflection on resistance. We could not have predicted the events that have happened in the last 48 hours, but it seems really fitting that as we come together in this new year, that we ground ourselves in the hymns, the songs, the stories that root Unitarian Universalism into the justice-seeking, faithful, loving communities that we are. We Are a Gentle, Angry People was written by Holly Near in the wake of the assassination of Harvey Milk. And it is fitting that as this community, as we once again come together around political tragedy, that we ground ourselves in a collective song of resistance through love. So I want to invite us all as we enter into this space together to ground ourselves in these words by John O'Donohue. It is a poem titled For a New Beginning. In the out-of-the-way places of the heart, where your thoughts never think to wander, this beginning has been quietly forming, waiting until you are ready to emerge. For a long time, it has watched your desire, feeling the emptiness growing inside you, noticing how you willed yourself on, still unable to leave what you had outgrown. It watched you play with the seduction of safety and the gray promises that sameness whispered, heard the waves of turmoil rise and relent, wondered, would you always live like this? Then the delight when your courage kindled, and out you stepped onto new ground, your eyes young again with energy and dream, a path of plenitude opening before you. Though your destination is not yet clear, you can trust the promise of this opening. Unfurl yourself into the grace of beginning that is at one with your life's desire. Awaken your spirit to adventure. Hold nothing back and learn to find ease in risk. Soon you will home in a new rhythm, for your soul senses the world that awaits you. For your soul senses the world that awaits you. I invite us to resettle into our seats and place our feet firmly on the ground, our backs firm against the tops of our chairs as we enter into a time of prayer and meditation. I have said this almost every Sunday I have led for the last 4 years, that we are a community that holds the world in both hands. And as we enter into 2026, I invite you to imagine all that you hold in the palms of your hands. The joys, the comforts, the celebrations, the hopes, the laughter of weeks, of holidays, of festivities, of community. I invite you to imagine all that you hold in the palms of your hands, the grief, the loss, the fear and anger. Nestle into the silence of this moment with all that you hold. We are a community that meets the world with joy and sorrow, grief and celebration. And as we come together this morning, we uplift Mara Lee, our accompanist, who's not feeling too great today. We uplift Rosie as well. We send intentions and prayers and energies of healing to both of them. We come together this morning in celebration and appreciation for Meryl and Kathy, for accompanying us this morning with music. We truly are a community that holds one another, that fills in the gaps when need is created, and meets that need with joyful song. We come together this morning in celebration with Julie Solaria as she celebrates 80 years of living and dancing across this earth. And she lifts up in that celebration an appreciation for Taj's fiance and mom who outdid their celebration of her life. I invite you to breathe in this moment. A moment of calm, a moment of community. If you have your eyes closed, I invite you to softly open them and look out the windows of this place as we are in the heart of winter. The gray skies, the bare trees, a little less snow than I think we all hoped but are grateful for. See the breeze moving through branches and pines. The threads of peace blowing in the wind and catching the twigs. And as we move in this space, I want to invite us to keep this posture of prayer and reflection. When you all entered this morning, you should have received a small piece of an index card. We're going to take a moment. There are pens and pencils in the backs of the chairs. I invite you to share with those around you. For as a community, we are going to take a moment of pause and look forward to the year in front of us. The unknown, the mystery, the potential and opportunity obscured from view. Some of us may meet that uncertainty with optimism, armed with silver Sharpies to silver-line the edges of the future. Others may look at that mystery and feel our own unease, the discomfort, too many variables, too many hardships in the present to witness. How can someone even bring themselves towards the future when the now is happening? Still others may be sitting here grounded, rooted, ready to move into 2026 without a second thought. You might be saying, "It is what it is, and I am not here to pass judgment on it." And you might be like me and see yourself as a combination of those three, or a secret fourth perspective altogether. Regardless of how you're approaching 2026, the events of the last 48 hours are sure to stir in you some pause. And what spiritual practice teaches us is that when there is a pause, there is space, an opportunity for presence, reflection, and agency. As Unitarian Universalists, we value the power of change and transformation. And often in New Year's services, we come together to let go of our past year as we move into something new, seeking deeper change. Today is a little different. We invite you to take time to name your hope for this year, the intention you want 2026 to hold. Just as letting things go can facilitate change, so too does that power of hope. And you might not be feeling the joyful optimism of hope this morning, and that is okay. There's also a quiet, rooted, hidden hope that grows beneath the surface, and it is just as valuable as the hope that shines like the sun. And if hope feels too distant this morning, I invite you to turn towards gratitude. What do you hope to be grateful for in 2026? What hope do you hold for the world? The challenge of this practice is that we're going to invite you, once you've written your word or phrase, your hope, your gratitude, at your own pace, I invite you to come up and place it in the box on the table in front of the pulpit. It is one thing to carry your hope within you It is another to offer it to the mystery, to the world, to invite your hope to find itself in an ocean of hope with those around you. So take time to write down, hold that hope, that intention, that gratitude. And when you're ready to invite it to join others, you're invited to walk up and place your intention in our ritual box. For our friends on Zoom, you can enter your hope in the chat. As you drop your paper into the box or your words into the chat, let it symbolize the act of your hope for this world, joining the hope of this community as we move together into a new year. As we shift and bring this ritual to a close, there's always time for a little more hope. I invite you to take one collective breath as we bring our ritual, our prayer, our meditation to a close. And in this breath, may this breath be our blessing as we move into this new year as a community. Amen. Blessed be. And namaste.
As we start our new year, counting the many blessings we have to sustain us, this fellowship is at the top of my list of blessings. For almost 25 years, it has welcomed me, encouraged me on my spiritual journey, and been my companion during periods of tribulation, such as we are living in now. Our financial contributions, along with the time and treasure we also share, are the necessary nourishment our fellowship needs to thrive. Our own generosity waters the soil of this fellowship. We also share our bounty, specifically half the weekly plate collection, which goes to a local nonprofit each month. January's Share the Plate organization is the Great Base Chaplain Corps, whose mission is to serve community members of all faiths during the worst days of their lives. Their leader, Chaplain Chaz Blackburn, is here today to introduce us to this agency.
Well, thank you so much. It's an honor to be here, and you guys deserve the clapping for being able to give back to the community. I thank you for the opportunity to be able to share more about the Great Basin Chaplain Corps. I see a friend, Bob, who I serve with in hospice, and I met Lily at Thank You Ma'ams. The Great Basin Chaplain Corps was founded in 2020 during COVID. The reason I was wearing a mask is just to be considerate. We often are responding into the ICU, and currently the 9th floor of Renown has a lot of influenza A, and we're having to wear full PPE to be able to serve those people that are unfortunately dying. So the Great Basin Chaplain Corps is comprised of 65 plus chaplains. To meet the current need of what's going on in the community, we need about 125. We have a 24/7 dispatch line. We have 33 teams that we currently operate that serve law enforcement, fire, EMS, 8 hospitals, human trafficking, the CARES campus, homeless and displaced populations, and so on. So what is a chaplain? A chaplain is not a pastor or minister. We are not allowed to evangelize. We are non-denominational and a bridge to other people's faiths, but more so we are allowed to be able to operate in the secular sense because of our practical applications. So for example, I am certified through the University of Maryland, Baltimore County Emergency Health Services for critical incident and stress management. And so we have teams that debrief and defuse in the hospitals, our first responder agencies, when there are critical incidents. Trauma is trauma until it becomes grief, but by being able to educate and helping walk through different scenarios of what our police officers have been through, our EMS, our healthcare professionals, we see nurses, unfortunately, completing suicide at Renown these last few years. And so we're a big part of that in helping them get through those scenarios. Another thing, just in the last 2 weeks, we had 4 more fetal demises, and so we're called to be able to be with those families and be a ministry of presence. We provide emotional support, PFA or psychological first aid. We are VOAD members, which is to be able to respond during times of disaster. And so to give you an example, when the GSR shooting took place, we had chaplains that responded on the ground to support first responders. We had chaplains that were up on the 7th floor supporting the 30-plus family members that were flying in for those who had been, their lives had been taken. We even provided support to the nurse who was having a spiritual distress, and she was atheist, but everybody has a human spirit, and she was having to take care of the shooter and having ethical thoughts of what to be able to do. So those are just a few examples. Some of the schisms that have taken place are such as when we had that large shooting in Sparks, we were there and we debriefed 20 plus officers who were going to the bathroom and throwing up during the time of the debrief because it was so traumatic to them. We do things like just support those in the ICU as they're dying. Renown alone had 9 paid staff chaplains that served non-denominationally through COVID, and due to the devastation of COVID, they had to cut that down to 1 paid staff chaplain for both Renown campuses. So we saw a need and we answered. We have a professional training protocol, and so all of our team members go through a lot of onboarding, a lot of training with practical applications for mental health support to be able to serve every part of our community. They get specialized training for wherever they're going to serve. We even partner with Washoe County School District, so we are one of their mental health resources when they have that yearly fair. So when their staff members or a member of our youth unfortunately completes suicide, we're able to debrief them and defuse them and give them resources. We are never there to evangelize again. That is not what Chaplain Code is about. We are there, regardless of our faith, to support them where they're at. Now, if they do need a specific kind of faith support services, such as, let's say they are Jewish and they need Shiva for a loved one who died, and that is 7 to 9 days of preparation for the body, we have our community response team partners that we can call upon to be able to provide those support services. We have everybody from clinicians to retired NCIS agents. We have social workers who are chaplains. Every member of the community you could think possible is stepping up and rising and answering the calling because the need is so great. We've been asked to step in and support the Crisis Center at Renown for the mental health crises. We're actually working with their drug diversion program because they are currently seeing a large-scale uptick in narcotic and alcohol abuse among staff members because they're overworked and don't have the proper resources. Something special about Chaplain is that they're covered under clergy confidentiality, so regardless of faith, they're able to have that confidentiality, so people like police officers and healthcare workers or anybody can come to us in confidence, and we cannot report it to their superiors. We're there to get them help and the resources they need and give them a safe space to be able to unload and hopefully have a path forward. That is very special to be able to have that ability. Another great thing is that we are there to, like I said, be a bridge to other resources. So for example, I had a call where unfortunately someone had completed suicide and the family members were renters, and so they could not afford, they didn't have a homeowner's insurance because they were renters, and most people cannot pay $25,000 to have their loved ones cleaned up. And so I was asked to remove the bedding where there was materials that were splattered everywhere. And so from our partnership, we started a new partnership with a new organization for biohazmat cleanup that's a vetted partner of ours. And now they are so reasonable, this new partner, instead of being $25,000, they're $5,000. And so it's so reasonable that we partnered, and even the city of Reno is now paying that fee for some of our community members because it's not so large as $25,000. So when I say we're a bridge to resources, that is a big role. all. We provide pre-grief and after-grief support, whether it's in hospice or unexpected MVA, motor vehicle accidents. And again, being with those families, I don't know if you've ever heard of Pill Sauce, but they're there for infant deaths, and they're a support group. And so we partner with them at their yearly ceremonies to be able to honor those that were lost. And so we are a community-based organization, and we serve all. But the need is so great. Like I said, unfortunately, we need about 125 chaplains. One thing I like to mention is that every dollar goes to making a difference. We have no paid staff. It's 100% trained and competent professional volunteers. We have zero tolerance for unprofessionalism or breach of confidentiality, and that's why we are so trusted among the community with all the different agencies. But we are 100% volunteer organization. And I also like to mention that when you make an investment into the Chaplain Corps, these are training professionals that may give the next 10 to 15, 20 years of their life being able to serve where they can. They may be retired, they may be having a full-time job, but the more chaplains that we have, the greater response we can have to be able to meet those calls. Studies showed that people in the ICU, 98% of people in the ICU want some kind of emotional and spiritual care, not even religious, just being able to have a trained person that is safe to listen, and only about 15% nationwide get that. And so it is a huge deficit of being able to be there when people are dying and to be able to make sure that they don't die alone and with comfort and dignity, and especially for the support staff. Healthcare workers especially go through so much that people don't understand, and there's not a lot of support always. And so we're able to be there and provide that for them and be able to create a path forward. We have two sayings, and I'll wrap up. Thank you. It's be the change and be the light. Under the hope section, I thought that was a beautiful exercise. I put to be able to serve more of those in need and the most vulnerable, because people who are in crisis are the most vulnerable. We go into the community in places that are dangerous and most people do not want to go to. That's what we're trained for. But everybody, no matter what level of society they are, deserves to be able to have that comfort, love, and care. Whether you're an immigrant, whether you're just an average citizen, or if you're a politician, every level of society. I know, right? I'm just saying, though, we're here to serve all, and that is the truth. So again, I want to thank you. The last thing I'll say is we were recognized for the last 2 years by the Office of Suicide Prevention from the state of Nevada. If you go at their year-end suicide prevention report, you will see the Great Basin Chaplain Corps listed on both years, and that's because we contribute through our actions to be able to help minimize suicide, because we are here to bring hope and light, and that's our role. So thank you very much.
All right. The ushers have come forward. Let the offering begin. me as we bless these offerings to the work of this fellowship, which is helping more people grow in love, faith, justice, and joy. We dedicate ourselves, and these are offerings. I have to get the announcements. I think we're starting out this year with a record number of announcements. 2. Okay. There's a meeting immediately after this service here in this great room. The Carter Center, I don't know if you, probably most of you are aware of the Carter Center, which has sent people around the world to observe elections in countries that are not known for being very upright in their elections. And they're going to be observing in the United States this year. And they're here to ask us about the possibility, because they're thinking of specifically the state of Nevada. They want to be monitoring the elections, and they are wanting us to be a possible partner in this work. So if you have any interest in that, if you're just curious about how it works, whatever, you're welcome to stay after for that today. Also, if you are new or newish to UUFNN, A Chosen Faith Session 2, The Amazing History of Unitarian Universalism and UUFNN, will be offered next Sunday, January 11th, following the service. If you don't know how and why we came to have this very lengthy Unitarian Universalist denomination, or how UUFNN came to be called Reno's Justice Church, or if you just want to get to know us better, this session is for you. Old timers, of course, are also very welcome. And also, just briefly, anyone who is interested, just in a quick, if you have questions about membership, I'm going to be right here after the service for a few minutes. You can come and ask me how and when we have plans. Okay.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who gather round to tend these fires. As I extinguish our chalice this morning, we know that the fires we tend, while they are symbols of our faith, move us internally beyond these walls. And may the light of this community guide us into 2026 well. I invite you to rise in body and spirit for our closing hymn, number 108 in the gray hymnal. How can I keep from singing is what I call it, but it has another name. What's the other name? Our Life Goes On, an Endless Song. I got confused. But please rise in body and spirit for our closing hymn, and please remain standing in body and spirit for our benedictions that follow. Already to join hands with those around you. And if you'd rather not hold hands, I invite you to softly place them over your heart. As we enter into a new year, how can we keep from singing? The joy, the grief, the celebration, the fear, we hold it all with hope and intention as we move forward together. Though our worship has ended, our service is just beginning. Go now and Happy New Year. Amen. Blessed be and namaste. Thank you.
Thanks for your help. You're welcome. I need a change of over here. Thanks for your help. Thank you. You're very awesome. Thank you. You're very easy to follow. I really appreciate it.